Hello, Super E Nation. I'm your host, A-Train. And that cat on the other screen, that hairy dude, that's Super E.
What's up, everybody?
How are you today, Super E?
It's a little cold out, not freezing, just getting ready for Christmas.
All right. It's almost here. It's almost here.
Yes.
So, do you have a early Christmas present for our listeners and viewers in the form of an entertaining tale?
Yes, this is a story where I bought crack from Opie Taylor.
Is that right? Okay,
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear this.
Here we go.
I can't wait.
Here we go. I had arrested a girl for prostitution. She was as sweet as can be. Her name was Sheila, and she turned into an informant. In fact, her and her boyfriend, his name was Greg, and they started, helping me do cases. Well, Sheila told me that I got this guy just north of the hot dog stand who's selling crack. He's a young guy. And I was like, all right. She goes, I've been buying crack for him for the last couple of days because, she was a crackhead. And crackheads just can't stop. They do their best because she really wanted the life of, she wanted to be married, she wanted to have a family, and she wanted to have a house. Unfortunately, she didn't have any of that. They were staying in abandoned homes and shit like that. It was awful. So anyway, she goes, I got this guy, and he'll sell some crack, and I know he'll sell to me. I said, okay. So what we had her do was we went to a payphone, and she called the dude up. And back then we didn't have the high-tech stuff. Actually, I had a great big tape recorder that I hid under my shirt when we went into the phone booth. And, then you had to lick the suction thing and stick it on that nasty
the old suction cup. Yeah.
And then so she calls him up. She goes, yeah, I'm here. I got my dude here, my money man, Ray. We're going to come by and, get like $100 worth of crack. He's like, yeah, come on through. So we're driving up, and unfortunately, I drove this blue Camaro convertible that I had confiscated, and it was a little flashy, and it was just a little too flashy, and I think people might have talked about it. So when we drove up the street, we saw the dope dealer, and he's a young guy in his 20s, and he looked like he could, you would say, oh, is that Ludicrous? And he saw us come over, and he's kind of looking at me because I'm supposed to be the money man that he's never met before. And he's looking at Sheila, and he goes, man, this is an awful nice car. And I knew right then he's suspicious. The cars made him nervous. I should have drove the piece of shit pickup truck. So he's like, how much money you guys working with? I said, $100. And he goes, okay, are you the police? No, I'm not. And, he's sure. And I, you just say, fuck no. You don't sit there and go, oh, why do I look like the police? Why do I look like the police? Look, I got tennis shoes on and my hat's backward.
I think you're the police.
Yeah, they always say that. I flipped it on them. I said, are you the police? Okay, everybody says that. You didn't invent it. So anyways, I just said no. So the guy goes, give me the money. I said, no. And Sheila's sitting there, and I could tell she's like, man, I thought this would be over with by now. She thought the guy would have the dope right on him, hand it to her and all this stuff. So I said, no, man, we ain't letting that money walk. That's $100. And he goes, okay, I'll be right back. So we see him walk about 4 houses up the street. And then about 2 minutes later, I see this pasty-faced little white kid, about 10 or 11 years old, with red hair, come running out of the house. I expected to see Aunt B go, Opie, come back for lunch. He looked exactly like Opie Taylor.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking at this little redheaded, pasty-faced kid. I'm like, what's he doing? He's coming right up to the car. And he goes, he walks up to the passenger side, looks at Sheila, and goes, "Hey, bitch, you got that $100?" I looked at her. I'm like, did I just hear this kid say what I thought he said? She's like, young man, I don't think you need to be talking like that. He goes, well, bitch, either you give me the $100 or I'm walking away. I said, hey, you little redheaded fucking prick. You don't talk to her like that. He looks at me and goes, fuck you, Godzilla. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, where'd you learn to talk like that? He goes like, none of your fucking business. Give me the fucking money or you're not getting the dope. I said, where's your fucking dad? He needs to be slapped in the mouth for bringing you in this world. In fact, your mom needs punched in the face too. He was like, eat shit, bitch, or I'm walking. I said, fine. I couldn't believe it. This 11-year-old kid, Opie Taylor, talking shit, doing the dozens on us. And I said, you know what? Fuck you. We're out of here. And I could tell that the kid really wanted that $100 because I don't think he's getting crack. I think he was getting money or something so he could go buy his Mountain Dews.
Yeah.
He goes,
Right.
hold on. He goes, just, show me the money. I said, the money's right here. I said, show me the dope, you little prick. And he's like, okay. He takes out the dope and he looks at us and he's like, where's the money? And I said, here it is. And then he starts, okay, give it to me. But he's kind of like walking back. He's like, give it to me. I said, oh no, you little shit. I know you're going to try to take off. He goes, I promise I won't. So I'm like, okay, if you run, you're going to get an ass whipping. Oh, I'm not going to run. So I handed the money to Sheila because I knew exactly what was going to happen. As I give the money to Sheila, I hit my door. So it was kind of open already. She hands him the money and he goes, thanks. And then he takes off. I'm out the door. I'm able to catch him. Like I said, he's 11-year-old Opie Taylor. He didn't have, jets on his feet. I caught him. And as I'm running him down, he goes, get away from me, you giant cocksucking bitch. I'm like, I don't know how this kid learned to say all this shit. But I tell you what, if I catch this old bastard, he's going to get a spanking. So I run him down and grab him. And he's got the dope in his hand. And I said, open your hand. He wouldn't open his hand. I took everything I got to get his hand open. And he had the crack in there. And I could see that the dope dealer was watching what's going on. And he was like, I was right. That motherfucker is the police. And I drug that kid back to the car. And he's like, let go of me, you fucking piece of shit. And I said, listen. I said, I've never bought dope from 11-year-old punk like you. So I'm going to let this slide your mouth. And I'm not going to charge you with a whole bunch of shit. I'm just going to take you to juvenile. And I think I charged him with something lesser. And threw him in the car, zip him over to juvenile. And when I get him to juvenile, they're like, what's the charge? Well, he sold me crack cocaine. They look at him they're like, Opie Taylor sold you crack cocaine? I go, he sure did. And I said, did you, Opie, little redheaded bastard? And he's like, eat shit. I'm saying shit. And so I said, well, adios. Say hi to Gomer, and Goober, and Barney. And out the door I went. I couldn't believe it. That was the youngest kid I ever bought crack from.
Okay. So, all right, this is the first time that Ludicrous and Opie Taylor have worked together on a dope deal.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So what was the relationship between Ludicrous and Opie? What do you think? What was that all about?
Well, what it was, this guy that looked like Ludicrous. We're not saying that Ludicrous was actually doing this. I think at this time he was making movies. But what it was, this guy was smart. These kids looked up to this guy. In this neighborhood, these dudes that were selling crack had all the money, and they were the role models for these little punks. And you got this little redheaded, dumb shit, and he didn't talk ghetto or anything like that. He didn't have a slang or anything. He was just like a little prick. It was like if you took Bill Burr and molded him into a little bitty body with flaming red hair, talking shit to you. And I was like, I've been doing it for years, and I was like, I can't believe this. There's always a first for everything, and it seemed like every other day I was running into something that I'd never done before. I was like, okay, so today's the day.
Yeah. Okay, so the Ludicrous lookalike was the dope man, and he was using these kids to do the hand-to-hand transaction, right? Trying to kind of insulate himself.
Exactly. And I thought, who's he going to send out next? Buffy and Jody? I was like, who's going to be the next one?
Oh, Nicholas from Eight's Enough.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, that's the first time you've ever bought dope from Opie. I can see that. Yeah. I can see that.
That was the youngest. That's the youngest person. Now we remember the 12-year-old prostitute that I arrested who said she was 19. And then she admitted she was 17. Then when I got to court, I found out she was 12. Well, he was the youngest one that we ever arrested, because the one kid that was 9, I think it was 9 or 10, that was, his mom had him trafficking crack in his rectum. We never arrested him.
I remember that.
He was not giving us the information. So this was the youngest drug dealer ever.
That is so sad, isn't it? These low lives, these pimps and drug dealers are using kids to do their dirty work. Yeah.
Yep. And he wasn't taking a chance, so he sent out little Johnny Whitaker to come over and to sell me some crack just to make sure he didn't go to jail, because that's what they would say. Well, he's just going to juvenile. Ain't no thing.
Right. That's why they use them.
Yep.
Man, okay. Well, that was great. It had the added bonus. You and I are both Andy Griffith fans, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. We don't like Miss Crump. Don't like Miss Crump.
We do not like Helen Crump. No. She was a bitch.
She was always pissing him off. She was always mad about everything.
Yeah, she always had that look. Andy. Yeah.
Just because he was hanging out with the fun girls. What's wrong with that?
I love the fun girls. I love the Now, I had heard, and I don't want to, disparage the dead because we are, Andy Griffith fans, but I had heard that he and the actress that played Helen Crump had a little on-set thing going on. Did you ever hear that?
No.
Yeah. Which I didn't understand. All the other hot women that came through Mayberry, and he's going to settle for Helen Crump.
Yeah, like I remember Peggy. She was married to Ryan O'Neal. Now we're going way. Nobody's going to know who we're talking about. I love Peggy.
You know what? And I love the jewel thief. Remember her that he locked up, and he and Barney both fell in love.
Yes.
There's a very select few, probably dudes out there that are screaming at the screen saying, "Yes, I love that episode." Yeah. So anyway,
I watched the one last night. They went into the haunted house to get the baseball.
That is a classic. Yes. Absolute classic. Okay, well, we're really going in a rabbit hole on that.
Yeah.
This was a fantastic tale. Super tragic that the little kid is, selling dope, but very, very entertaining. Okay, I just burped. Sorry. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. Come back, listen, and look at us some more because we're on video now, as you can see. I don't know why Why does my face look as big as a pizza platter? But anyway, I'll just have to live with it. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas.
Adios. See ya.